What's good, gang? I've just spent the past 10 minutes trying to sort out my mic and it's finally standing up by itself. So you're getting a very authentic look into what I'm doing tonight because I haven't even looked at the markets yet. Obviously, checking news first, we have Federal Chairman Powell speaking again. Lost a trade last night in his conditions. Also, consumer confidence. So, yeah, high impact news tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I will be de-risking also, but main thing is I want to be looking for something obvious. If I can't see something obvious, I don't want to trade because obviously market conditions just are not favorable at the moment with Powell speaking. Anyways, that's my trade yesterday. I've already sort of ran through it. Rip City, like this already coming into the day is not ideal. We have moved 0.5% in the past hour or so. There's nothing in here. Like if we come onto the hourly time frame, I'm sort of just looking for anything that we can look for. There's not a lot. Are we at all-time highs? We may be at all-time highs. We are too. We have just broken all-time highs. That is crazy. Like after all of the news we have had, after a literal war at the moment, we have somehow ripsticked still. That is insane. Okay, so today is going to be a little bit more difficult than usual. We haven't taken our all-time highs yet over here on ES. So I'm going to be looking at that as a clear draw on liquidity for the day purely because we just don't have anything else to even sort of consider. If you come down here on the hourly time frame, chopped through the morning, and then we've just seen displacement through this London session. What am I looking at here? We have equal lows here, 6-1, 1-4, 150, 1-4, 150. So these are actually dead equal lows. That is a good draw on liquidity. Where's my equal lows? Here. We've also just taken out this high here. This is like a previous day high. Yeah, man. In terms of today, I'm taking it very slow. I believe these are equal lows as well. Yeah, those are both equal lows too. So we've got good draws to the downside on over here on ES. We're also overextended. We've ripsticked, and I definitely think we could see a bearish rotation today. That's probably all that I'm going to be looking for purely because it's hard to trade. It's hard to take a bullish trade when we're at all-time highs. That's something that's real. I've never had to deal with that. I've never traded at all-time highs before. So it's going to be an interesting day. Over here on NQ, this does not look like a liquidity sweep at all. Like over here on ES, we have this, and you could look at this and say, yeah, like this looks like we could rotate off fear and react bearish. NQ is not saying that at all. This is very bullish price action. Sure, we do have a really nice run on liquidity down here. So once again, shorts are still in play. But for me to take a short, I need to see something very, very clear on that 15-minute time frame to indicate that we're not just going to keep ripping up and up and up. Yeah, it's a toughy one. Like this is obviously not ideal price action to be trading in when I trade off of liquidity sweeps and sort of price action. So it's going to be an interesting one today. I'm just planning to take it slow. I have draws on liquidity to the downside, so I do have a bearish bias in place. I'd love to see us somehow rotate down here and take all these, but I'm not going to be able to formulate anything very clear until the market has played out a little bit. So market's just opened and I'm really just sitting on my ass right now. I just want to see what's sort of happening. We could 100% rotate off of this. On ES, it's looking much, much clearer. Equal lows. Really, really good draws on liquidity. But we're just going to have to see if we get some sort of opening confluence. We've already taken out this high here. It looks like we're starting to get legs down, but like I said, it's too early into market open to be making any sort of calls like that. So I'll check in as things start to become a bit clearer, and let's see if we can find a trade, make back losses from yesterday, and also just take a winning trade. Yeah, super open to not trading today because Powell speaking, we're sitting at all-time highs, not ideal price action, war news. I actually haven't really been following the war news today. I got sent this new app though. If you guys haven't checked this out, Financial Juice. This app here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you probably can't see it in my room. Financial Juice. Really, really good for any sort of news financially related. Yeah, Trump, the NATO summit was a big success. US strike rendered. So it's got all of the information about like the wars and just everything that's affecting the market. It's been freaking awesome for me sitting in here and being able to sort of track what's going on, because sometimes it is so hard to like I'll see a crazy candlestick release and I search for news, I can't find anything, whereas on here it's literally just sitting. Crazy. But anyways, I'll love and leave you, and I'll check in soon. Hopefully we can see some shit shake. I'm not a fan of that 15-minute candlestick closure. For me, good draws to the downside. I also saw we actually had another equal low, which is pretty high conviction draws on liquidity for shorts, but overall, man, it's not ideal conditions. We're just ripping. As you can see, we broke structure here on the 15-minute time frame. If you look over here on NQ, it's even more obvious. If we load, I mean, come on, buddy. Like, we're not going to go short today. Like, unless we see some serious rotation to the downside. But, yeah, all in all, I think that the market is pretty much telling us we are going to take out these all-time highs over here on ES. Other issue with shorts, shorting down to these obvious draws on liquidity. Do I want to be shorting all the way there when we have an imbalance here on this hourly time frame? Overall, everything is showing bullish signs. We have the strongest draw on liquidity on the entire chart right now, being these all-time highs, a mere 0.1% away. Do I think, like, honestly, I don't even really want to be considering taking a trade today. If this next 15-minute candlestick is to close somewhere way down here, 100% going to be considering taking shorts, but it's going to be de-risked. It's going to be having a profit taking somewhere in here as a TP1. But then the other issue that we're faced with is that NQ, what are we reacting off of? The only thing that I could potentially say here is that, and this is valid, we could potentially be looking for a high time frame bearish S&T to form. So theoretically, what do I need to see in order to confirm that and to take a trade with that idea as my opening confluence? Is that I need to see some sort of confirmation on the higher time frame that is going to be the case, because that is a very possible thing that we create a high time frame bearish S&T, which one generates liquidity for the future, generates liquidity for later in the week that we can take out, but it's also going to give us a chance to come down and create, like, take out all the draw on liquidity. So, bit of a tricky one right now. We're starting to get legs down here. But all in all, tough conditions. Very tough today. I'm sitting on my hands right now until I can potentially see something very clear. We are dumping right now. Wow. Literally since I've just been speaking, there's major. Okay. Well, like I said, I will be open to shorting, but it's going to be de-risked. It's going to be with the idea of not just taking out those draws on liquidity, but also balancing out price action. Main issue for me I'm faced with, because over here on ES, it is possible, that we react off of this draw on liquidity. Wow, what is going on? Whoa. Macro's just opened.
Okay. Yes, I like that already.
I'm gonna pull up financial juice. There are some early signs of tariff-induced price increases. So that's obviously what's pumped there. And the economy remains solid overall and unemployment is low. You'd think unemployment being low would be a bullish. No? But yeah, very volatile right now. We have, I don't know, this is the bearish extension that I said I would want to see in order to take shorts today. It's just crazy price action at the moment, mate. And look at this. You literally range for the past 2 hours we've been ranging, and then all of a sudden you see an absolute dumper of a candle. It's just crazy. Like, these market conditions are so volatile. It doesn't help when we've got as much news as we do. But if you look at this, I mean, this is looking like a valid short model. Take out the draw on liquidity. This mixed with the fact that we could be putting in a high time frame bearish SMT. We see a 15-minute break of structure. Realistically, if we see something like this, followed by maybe we see an inverse gap somewhere in here, that is going to be enough for me to take a short, stops here, and target as these lows. That is what I am looking for right now, because that would actually be a really, really valid trade. I think the overall story today, although we have that draw on liquidity above us, if we can confirm a high time frame bearish SMT formation, we have insane draws on liquidity to the downside. Yeah, I think there's definitely potential. It just is really tricky trying to balance ES and NQ at the moment when NQ is looking as bullish as it is, like that just looks so bullish to me. And I mean, I could be coming down here onto the 5-minute time frame and trying to pick out, like, do we have an SMT here? Like, yeah, we have an SMT between, what's that, 10:35 and 10:35. So this is a bullish SMT as well. And I know for a fact that I could look at this and think, all right, well, where's the other very obvious draw on liquidity for the day? The other very obvious draw on liquidity for the day is going to be all-time highs. Like, that's super high conviction and pretty freaking obvious in my opinion. So the other potential trade for me would be, if we see an inversion of this gap, then I could look for a long up to take these, something like that. But just got to see what happens right now. This 15-minute candlestick closure is going to be pretty telling, I think. And then for depending on how we react coming into Powell's speech, is going to determine whether or not I'm open to trading today. Also filled in this imbalance, so it's looking good for longs. I cannot lie. I've had this retracement. We're creating a bullish S&T. Even though we have good draws of liquidity to the downside, what's the strongest draw for me is obviously going to be these all-time highs.
Order filled.
Okay, so I placed my first position just here. I think I would have got filled about there. I cannot see my executions. I'm gonna have to try to do it manually. I'll refresh it. Please load through, otherwise I'm cooked. Jeez, bro. Top Step X is geeking right now. What am I supposed to do? I bought in for 5 contracts, I'm pretty sure, but I can't see my executions or anything here. Positions? There's no way it's placed my entry over on NQ. That is such a stitch up. How? Somehow it's filled me on NQ. Stitch up. That's more risk than I wanted to put on the table because NQ contracts are bigger than obviously NQ contracts are bigger than ES contracts. That is insane. Check this. So I always do my little positions. Like I've just pressed the button. Like I always press the buy +5. It literally says buy micro ES. And it somehow filled me on NQ. So that's a fat stitch up if this trade loses. I mean, I've lost like double. Not double, but I would have lost like another couple hundred more than what I should have. Oh man, trust the entry. Overall, happy with the entry, but that is so gay. So S&T is not even over here. Means my position's looking like filled. My position is looking like that. Not good right now at all. That looks terrible. Play would be just to hold this to when ES takes those all-time highs. Now just take the position out. Turning up right now over here on ES. Could be a rough couple days for me if this one gets stopped out. Damn, it just sucks. I was trying to de-risk and I was planning to enter on ES and it's kind of stitched me up there. I can't lie, I'm super pressed about that. I have no idea how that's even happened. I've literally pressed buy for ES and it's somehow bought it on NQ. Makes literally no sense. But hey man, it just is what it is. Like I can't do anything about that. I've put stops underneath here because this is the base of the S&T. No, I wouldn't usually enter on the leading index just because it hasn't actually swept liquidity. But just got to take the positives, man. Like if at the end of the day, if this trade wins, I'll be super happy with the analysis, regardless of the P&L and what the funded account's looking like. And all in all, super happy with this model today. Even though the Powell speech is literally in full flow right now, I haven't seen any candlesticks that I think are really scary. We came down, filled in this imbalance, we created a 15-minute S&T, and then I've seen my inverse model flow out of it. So super happy with that. I'd actually like to add to this position. Right now, what I'm looking at this as a equilibrium retracement. And if this candlestick here can close as a change in the state of delivery, I'm going to add to my position. Or I'm actually going to enter my position on ES. Didn't get a change in the state there, so not entering yet. NQ position is still in quite a bit of drawdown here. Filling in this imbalance now, getting rejections out. Not looking too hot at all. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4 good draws on liquidity. Not going to hold it against NQ because last night we had the same thing and it got disrespected. So, yeah. A lot of chop right now. I really don't want all of that risk on. I really don't want to be sitting in a full risk on position right now. There's just literally nothing I can do there. It was already so steep in drawdown by the time I realized that it had placed my entry on NQ rather than ES. One of those things, man. You know what could be gas right now? What if, say theoretically, Israel bombed Iran? Would that be bullish news? I don't know. I think that could be a very good turnout from the market right now. Get us out of this chop. Rip us to all-time highs really quickly. This is gross price action. Super low volume coming into the market. The higher time frame looks beautiful though. Like if you look at the hourly time frame, it just looks perfect. Like we retraced. Yeah, and bearish news came out. That is so gay. So gay. It should not have been a $350 loss for us today. That is the biggest stitch up. Honestly, man, I don't even know how that has happened because I was sitting on the ES chart. I had I had the micro S&P selected as what I wanted to place the entry on. And then I've pressed buy with 5 contracts. Yeah, I don't know what. Just fucking sucks, bro. Super shitty week for me, man. Yeah, I'm down 500 on the week so far. But I am wanting to increase my risk this week. I have no issue with this model at all. I'm happy with it. But it just absolutely dicks that we got stitched up. And some way or another, my position got filled on NQ. Here's what it is, man. That is Wednesday night, over and out. I'll be back tomorrow chasing another trade. Hopefully we can get some way better price action, man, because this is just duke. This is price action that I want to be de-risked in, and unfortunately today that was not the case due to something completely ridiculous on Top Step's end. So yeah, be back tomorrow. Thank you boys for tuning in. Peace and love. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay safe in the charts. Unfortunately, I got bum fucked tonight. Love.